YouTube, Shuken Shubby here with a review of the Lock Vehicle Series 1 and 2, Sakura Hurricane and Rose Attacker. So these are the main two vehicles seen in Gaim thus far. Apparently we'll be seeing the Dandelion and the Tulip Hopper at some point. I think there might have been in the movie. I don't recall 100%, obviously, since I haven't seen the movie, since I'm in America, and I can't see it yet. But anyway, these are kind of spread out between the Armored Riders right now. Obviously, judging by the box, Gaim has the Sakura Hurricane, while Baron has the Rose Attacker. Ryugen also has the Rose Attacker. Gridon has the Rose Attacker as well. Kurokage has the Sakura Hurricane. Bravo has the Sakura Hurricane. And I think I didn't miss anyone. Zangetsu doesn't have one as far as I know. If he did, he probably would have the Sakura Hurricane. Just because the Japanese-themed guys seem to be getting the Sakura Hurricane. Sans Bravo, because God knows what he's doing. But these are pretty much the same toys, so I tossed them in the same review. Pretty neat box. You can see the lock vehicle right there. And it shows the vehicle all nice and transformed on the back. These are a little bit bulkier of boxes, so I'm going to go ahead and move them. And bring in our lock vehicles. Now, transformation for each of these is exactly the same. One interesting thing to note is that I will only show it on one. I'll show it on the Sakura Hurricane. That there's actually functionality with the Sengoku Driver. Actually, I'll do the Rose Attacker since I have Baron's belt in there. These actually clip right into the actual belt. So pretty cool. I don't have my belt on. Yes, I do. Obviously nothing's going to happen because these don't have electronics in them, but the way it transforms, it actually does allow for it to be cut open, which is a really cool touch. Now, granted, that isn't actually useful in the show because all they do is pop the lock and then throw it, so they don't actually ever insert them in the show, but it's a cool little touch that these have at least a little bit of functionality in the driver too, even though there's no sounds. So transformation on each of these is, like I said, identical. Basically fold, unfold the whole thing. That will peg in, this will extend, pop that out. So that is all good to go. This wheel will fold down, make sure that this is nice and folded up and out of the way. Make the handlebars situated how they're supposed to. This will fold back, and you have your bike. Really cool, and obviously we need a kickstand, otherwise they're going to fall, and that is right there. So here's your bike. Now, being that it's a transforming lock seed, it doesn't actually have any sort of movement. Most of the bikes released thus far had at least a tilt there, and you don't have that with these. I really wish there was some sort of way to have engineered that. I guess it probably would have cost more. But it's not a huge deal. I'm not going to actually pose any of the figures on these. I'll probably just pose them like this, standing next to them. So that's not a huge deal breaker to me. It's just something I really wish they would have had. The Rose Attacker, like I said, is the same functionality. What am I missing? There we go. Fold that, swing that around, bring the kickstand down. Like I said, same exact thing, and there we have the Rose Attacker, the only difference really being the base design of these things. So just for package sake, we are going to do Gaim and Baron on these. So swing their little hands around so they're in a grippy bike position. I know terms. Have them grip the handlebars, which isn't all that difficult to do. Extend their arms a little bit, just so that they can sit a little bit better on the bike. Swing the... Now, there's no actual footrests on any of these bikes, so I'm not 100% sure whether... Yeah, that looks good. Thank you, Kota. I guess like that, we'll go with that. There we go, he's on the bike. Vroom! And he's making the bike too heavy. He's gonna fall over. Oh no! And here's Baron. He's so cool, he doesn't even need to pose. Oh, there he goes. Good job, Kota. That's not your delivery truck. You're not allowed to fall over. So there's Baron. Since it doesn't seem to want to stay, we'll go ahead and... Can we do that? Will you allow that to happen, Kaito? Will you? I don't think you will. There we go. Something like that. Yay, we're standing here with our bikes. Yay, bike power. So yeah, not too wonderful, but not awful. If you're a lock seed completist, then if these go on sale, which I think they might, then you might want to pick them up since they're technically lock seeds. But it really comes down to personal preference and whether you kind of classify them as such or not. Now, as toys, I really do dig them. I love the fact that they're lock seeds too. It gives them a nice little edge compared to some of the other bikes released in these gimmick lines. So I do like that, but the transformation to them also hindered the fact that you don't have that turn in the front wheel. And I really think that hinders the playability of the bikes. It limits posing quite a bit. But if you can look past that flaw, I really do dig them. I love the opening for the Sengoku Driver, which is actually just for the transformation, but it's placed exactly where it needs to. And the fact that it can clip into things like the lock seat holder and the Sengoku Driver and the Muso Saber is a really cool touch on these that make them unique over the other bikes released in these gimmick lines. So overall, they're pretty neat. For the price point, I would have liked to see that wheel motion, but it's not an absolute deal breaker. If you can pick these up on a sale and you have the arms change figures, I think they're absolutely worth it. But if you're not collecting the arms change figures and you want these purely because they are lock seeds, definitely wait for a sale. I wouldn't pay full price for them if you're not going to actually use them as the toy itself. Not worth in that aspect. If they had electronics, then maybe, but they don't. So not really worth the full price unless you have the whole arms change line, or at least an arms change figure or two, and you want to get these going. Now, if you want to buy multiples to have a bike for every armored rider, then go for it. That's all I can say is go for it. So I certainly urge you to buy more and more of these bikes. They're pretty neat for what they are. There is flaws, but overall, they're not that bad. Thanks for watching, take care, and have a great one. Bye.